And it's time for another episode on the Temperament podcast. My name is Emmanuel Kwesi Mensah. Welcome to PK FM or PK Radio. If this is your first time listening to us, you're welcome. God bless you for being here. And I pray that by the end of this session, you would have learned something, as I'm also doing. For the past weeks, we've been treating what temperaments are and how knowing the temperament that our partners have or possess can help us to live peaceably with them, and how best we can spice up our love life or marriages or relationships, having known the temperament types that our partners possess or they have. And so our first two episodes were dedicated to educating us on what the temperaments are, the types that we have, and what they mean, and how they manifest themselves. Today we're going to look at the strengths and weaknesses of each of the temperaments that we've discussed in the past. And so we're going to launch straight into it. We're going to start with the cholerics. Their strengths are they are ambitious, they are passionate, they are leader-like, they are focused, they are efficient, practical, good at planning, good at problem solving, they are confident, motivating, and they are delegators. And they are easily great, or we find them as great people, or easily we see them as great people when we are in an emergency or when there is an emergency, and they're usually right. These are the strengths of the cholerics: ambitious, passionate, leader-like, focused, efficient, practical, good at planning, good at problem solving, confident, motivating, delegators, usually right, and they are easily seen as great people, or they easily appear great in an emergency. The weaknesses that they possess: they are aggressive, they are domineering, they are inflexible, impatient, rude and tactless, argumentative, unable to relax, uncomfortable around emotions, low on empathy, discouraged by failures. They are too busy for people, they are intolerant, and if they are leaders who demand loyalty. And the roles that we can find under this type of temperament is leaders, or are leaders, producers, and builders. So the cholerics are the ruling dominant type amongst the four that we have. They're very dominant. So we represent them with fire. And as I said, leaders, producers, and builders. Most of these people, if not all, can be found under this type of temperament. But you need to look inside, you need to listen to it fully. You need to know before you can adjust someone as being a choleric or being any other type of the temperament that we have. The second one we're going to look at is the sanguine. And their strengths are sociable, charismatic, outgoing, confident, warm-hearted, pleasant, lively, optimistic, fun lovers, spontaneous, a preventer of dull movement. They are quick apologizers and an easy friend makers. And so these are the strengths of the sanguine: sociable, charismatic, outgoing, confident, warm-hearted, pleasant, lively, optimistic, fun lovers, spontaneous, a preventer of dull movement, quick apologizers, and an easy friend makers. Their weaknesses: these people are impulsive, they are chronically late, they are shameless, they are forgetful, they are compulsive talkers or talkatives, they are too loud, sometimes too happy, distractible, they are easily distracted, not interested in following through with tasks that are boring. They don't like boring stuff. They are self-absorbed, they are exaggerators, and they are people that appear unauthentic. So these are the weaknesses of the sanguine. But some of the roles or jobs that we can find, or the careers that we can find under this type of temperament, are actors, salesmen and women, speakers. So most of these people are found under this type of temperament. And this type, we call them the socially useful type, and they are represented by air. They're all around, or they're everywhere. So that's why we represent them by the air. The next one we're going to look at is the phlegmatic. Their strengths are they are relaxed, they are very calm and quiet people, they are content with themselves, they are very kind, they are very consistent, they keep a steady and faithful friend, or they are steady and faithful friend, they are very accepting, they are affectionate, they are diplomatic, they are peacemakers, they are rational beings, or they're very rational, they are very curious, observant, and an easy friend maker. So these are the strengths of the phlegmatics. Relaxed, quiet and calm, content with themselves, kind, consistent, a steady and faithful friend, accepting, affectionate, diplomatic, peacemakers, rational, curious, observant, and they are easy friend makers. Some of the weaknesses that we can find under the phlegmatics are sometimes shy, fearful of change, they are prone to laziness, very stubborn, they are passive-aggressive people, indecisive, permissive, they are not goal-oriented, they are unenthusiastic people, they are too compromising, they are indisciplined, and they are sarcastic, they are discouraging, and they are non-participative. So these are the weaknesses that we find under the phlegmatics. Sometimes shy, fearful of change, prone to weakness, stubborn, passive-aggressive people, indecisive, permissive, not goal-oriented, they are unenthusiastic, they are too compromising, indisciplined, sarcastic, discouraging, and non-participative. And we represent them by water. So unless you touch it, it's there. And some of the roles that we can find under, or the careers that we can find under this type of temperament, are the diplomat, the accountants, teachers, technicians. If you're a teacher, if you're a technician, and you find yourself here, that's fine. But I'm not saying that all teachers can find themselves here, all technicians or all diplomats. You really have to find where you fit and what your temperament says about you or about your partner, and how best we can all come together to live pretty well with ourselves. Let's go to the last one, the melancholic. Their strengths are thoughtful, considerate, cautious, organized, an excessive planner. They are schedule oriented, they are very detailed, they are highly creative in poetry, art, and inventions. They are independent, they are good at preventing problems. Thoughtful, considerate, cautious, organized, excessive planners, schedule oriented people, detailed, highly creative in poetry, art, and inventions, independent, and good at preventing problems. These are the strengths of the melancholy. Let's go to the weaknesses. They're very obsessive, too cautious, prone to depression, they are prone to moodiness, they are perfectionist or perfectionistic people, they are pessimist, they are difficult to please, they are deeply affected by a tragedy, and they are a person with tunnel vision, or people with tunnel vision. They more like look into a pinhole. They are sometimes procrastinators. They are discontent with themselves and others. They are prone to play the meta. So these are the weaknesses of the melancholic, and they are the avoiding type. We represent them by earth. Some of the roles or the careers that we can find under this type of temperament are artists, musicians, inventors, philosophers, doctors. So these are the 4 types that we've been looking at for the past 2 weeks. And these are the strengths and weaknesses of these types, and some of the roles or the careers that we can find under these types. So if you are a teacher, you are a doctor, you know where you are just by this, but it does not necessarily mean that you are a choleric or you are sanguine. You really have to understand who you are by listening to what we've been doing the past 2 weeks, so that you know exactly where you fall and how best you can capitalize on the strength to have a peaceful and very quality bond with your partner or with your loved ones. Let's go to some do's and don'ts of these types of temperament that we have. We're going to start with the cholerics. Some of their do's is prepare yourself with facts and figures. Present issues logically. Be direct, brief, and specific. Articulate your feelings clearly. Demand attention and respect. Support their leadership instinct. Support their correct decisions. Build on the logic of their argument and offer them leadership responsibilities. These are the do's of cholerics when you get close to them or when you interact with them. These are the things that you have to do or you can do, so they don't get angry, because we've said already they are quick-tempered people. And the next one we're going to look at is the sanguines. They are the talkers. The cholerics are the doers. The sanguine, when you get close to them, what you have to do is you take a positive and upbeat approach. You offer praise and appreciation. You accept some playful teasing or joking. They are playful. They can tease at any time. You recognize the value of their participation. You encourage their verbal self-expression. You reinforce trust with appropriate gestures. You remember they are more sensitive. Remember, they are more sensitive than they appear. And also value their social interaction skills and people connections. Promote creativity and fun activities. They easily get bored with things that are not interesting. So you need to promote creativity and fun activities. These are the do's of the sanguines. Now let's go to the phlegmatics. Allow them to collect their thoughts. Take a sensitive approach. Demonstrate your sincerity. Limit their perceived exposure to risks. Help them feel secure in their relationship. Promote their creative effort and ambitions. Appreciate them. Be loyal. Do a thorough analysis and present with all the details. They love details, so do that for them. Let's go to the last one, the melancholy. Accept and support their individuality. Create a relaxed atmosphere. Provide a comfortable, non-threatening structure in which they can operate. React gently. Show patience. Try not to rush them. Share ideas with them. Be open and direct when possible. Look for non-verbal clues to their feelings. Hear them out. Listen quietly and carefully. These are the do's of the 4 types of temperament that we have. So we've looked at the strengths and the weaknesses. We've looked at some of the roles or the careers that we can find under these types. And now we've come down to look at the do's of the temperament that we have. Next week, God willing, we're going to look at the don'ts, and we're going to ask some questions to further make us understand where we are and how best we can capitalize on our strengths to have peaceful and better relationships with our partners. Until then, be good, be great. God bless you. Have a lovely weekend.